Hello, my wonderful people, viewers and subscribers all over the world. And there's videos I want you to see now. Clips. One from a Yoruba man and one from an Hausa man. They are making case for the Biafrans. They are making case for the same Biafrans who are not making case for their own self. Rather, they choose to backbite each other. I would like you to see these two clips. Then after watching it, we come back here to digest the message very, very well. And as well, I would like you to tag this message to the enemies of Biafra, enemies of Simon Ekpa, and enemies of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, including the enemies of Ngozi Chukwu-Orabueze, because they are still fighting in tooth and nail to make sure that they remove this woman out of the way, so that it will enable them to have the enabling ground. I mean, a very, very open ground, open playground for them to squeeze life out of the Biafrans, because they are not into the struggle for the liberation of Biafrans, but rather for what they are going to gain. Their own personal stomach infrastructure is what they are after. So help me to see this clip, and then we'll come back for more discussion. As you're watching, please kindly drop your opinion at the comment section of this video. Like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting videos.
I want you to calm down. Just calm down, watch this video, and what you should not do is to watch it and leave it here. Watch and share. When you share this video, tag all those NDDOS One Nigeria Limited to them, to this video. Tag all of them and tag those who behave like them to calm down and watch this video. You understand? Because it's just a kind of, any animal that is not proud of its color is not worthy to live. Understand? And those that is mocking Simon Ekpa, jubilating that Simon Ekpa is being convicted, they are fools. You understand? I don't want to talk much in this video. One thing help me do is to like, comment, and share this video. As you share this video, try to watch it to the end so that you hear what this man is saying here. Thank you and God bless you.
Caesar, I'm extremely disappointed at David Umahi. Those are the kinds of statements I don't expect to hear from a senior government official. And, you know, he's a man I tend to respect, you know, because he's a hard-working individual, and you know he knows his onions when it comes to engineering and Ministry of Works and roads constructions and things like that. So I have a lot of respect for him, but particularly I felt offended by that statement, because I've said it on this program severally. I detest the dog whistling of an entire ethnic group in Nigeria, and let's call a spade what it is. It's becoming one too many that we want to consistently and continuously scapegoat the Igbo ethnic tribe in Nigeria, and it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable because there is a history of violence targeted at that group since 1953 in our country. Listen, Caesar, a meeting was held in Lagos, not necessarily a meeting, in Parliament. Anthony Nahoro moved a motion for the independence of Nigeria. The North opposed that motion, and at the train station, when they were going back to their constituency, they met a crowd that was essentially mocking them. They got back to the North. Chief Akintola led a tour across the North, you know, to campaign essentially for the independence, to rally the North in support of Nigerian independence. Guess what happened after that? Riots broke out in northern parts of Nigeria, particularly in Kano, where over 240 Igbos were massacred. Were they the ones that demanded for Nigeria to have an independence at that time? In 1966, particularly in May, months before the Civil War happened, thousands of them were massacred across northern cities, and they had to flee to the east for safety because thousands of them were indiscriminately killed for what they knew nothing about, right? So let's not even talk about the Civil War and the hundreds of thousands that were massacred, and the fact that after 1970, this entire ethnic group had to start from the scratch again to begin to build their lives. And Caesar, look at what they have done since 1970. A group that left or started from nothing, went to Bauchi, went to Kano, went to Meduguri, went to Akure, went to Ogun State. And look what they have built in 40 years of hard work, grit, and no support from the federal government. Look what they have done from themselves. But what we consistently and continuously do is to signal hate hatred and violence against the group. And this thing has to stop. We can't continue a country. Listen, if you don't want a group of people to be a part, let them go then. I don't understand this. Every turn, there has to be an excuse to single out an ethnic group. I give you a typical example. Just like the past elections, I heard people telling, how can the Obi, for instance, have scored 98% in certain states in the north? How can he have scored 90%? Muhammadu Buhari, under a PDP-led federal government, scored over 90% votes in 4 northern states. Go and check the results in Katsina. Go and check the results in Bauchi. Go and check the results in Jigawa. He scored over 90% in those states under the leadership of the PDP as a federal government. So it was okay for Buhari to score over 90% in his own core constituency, but something utterly went wrong when Obi did it in the southeast. This ethnic group have always been part of a nationalist political party and never really have ever built a regional movement. All the times they have supported a political party have been national political parties right from the NCNC.
Yeah, true.
They have a stakeholder in the PDP. They don't have a regional party in the sense that we had ACN in the southwest, in the sense that they had AMPP in the north. They did not have the behemoth of a regional political party. So where is all this hate coming from? Where is all this hate coming from? They tell you now, for instance, that they have a rabid mob who are harassing people on the internet because their candidate lost. We have very short memories. In 2011, a candidate lost in this country and over 800 people were massacred in violence in the north. I so know this because I personally saved 11 core members and were hidden in my father's hotel in Kano. So what are we saying? 800 people were massacred because of the ambition of somebody in this country. And suddenly we are losing our minds because we are saying people are insulting you online and they're a rabid mob. Let us stop this. Let us stop this ethnic dog whistling. Let us stop this ethnic baiting. And this thing should not continue. We are one people, one country.
That movement, that's what it is. I'm not ashamed. Okay, look, if President Tinubu succeeds now, 2027, 2031, every Yoruba person in Abuja will be cleaned out of the system. Because
you understand.
Buhari started with Fulani. He is doing Yoruba now. Let the Igbos come. We cannot block the Igbos if they put 99% in all positions too. Is that the way we are building the country? Let Yoruba go and rule Yoruba land. Let the North agree on who will rule Northwest. Let the Kanuri rule Northeast. Let the Igbos rule the Southeast. Let the South agree. Then the temperature will come down. I will not want to be running federal election with 200 million naira form because I have to run from Sokoto to Ikotekpene. I will campaign as a premier of Western region where people know me and I know them. I know what they want. The Southwest want to bring all Yorubas who are Japan, bring them back to Nigeria. Nigeria is too hostile for the Yorubas now. Nigeria is a poisoned environment for Yoruba because we invested in education so much and we have lost all the human beings. They are developing other societies. The North will not care less. How many doctors do they have in United States? How many doctors do they have in Europe? These are facts. I put on the table now. I don't need to sugarcoat anything at all. We are divided. Let's just accept it. It's no fight. Right, no war. The North will come up on their own. We will respect each other. But this matter of trying to play some games, President Tinubu is better. In fact, if he runs only one time and he brings this temperature down, his name will go down in history. But if he does not do anything the next 6 months about restructuring, and he goes to use all the money to run election in 2027 and he wins, and then what? The Yorubas will become endangered in the political system because once he leaves, then Nigeria is not safe for Yoruba again. Sorry, let the Igbos come. They have right to come. There are so many issues on this matter. The first foundation to lay is that Nigeria is not a united country, despite all the pretenses. We are not South since 1914. It has not changed. The North, at the flip of a switch, they are able to shout Northern interests. The Southerners are laid back, hoping that, oh, we are civilized. We don't want to talk about tribalism. Tribalism is at play. We are pretentious about this matter. Look, the North has taken us for a ride for too long. They foisted federal character on Nigeria over 40 years. They foisted quota system over Nigeria over 40 years. Have they benefited from it? Only the tiny clique in the North is holding the whole country to ransom. It's enough time for Nigeria to wake up. We are not together, not lost out. Now they are talking the elite, the few elite in the north. Like if Filiboto is going to be removed from their mouth. That's what they are doing. They are shouting. They are forming a group now. Lead of Northern Democrats. The governor of Bauchi was talking. They won't be able to pay salaries again. They won't be able to do that. Look, the North has damaged Nigeria fundamentally with this attitude. Who are the Nigerians who are now Japan now? They are Southerners. The South invested in education massively in the 50s and the 60s. The products now are being driven out of Nigeria. Can you find the Fulani man in London or in New York practicing medicine, practicing engineering? It's the Yoruba, the both Southerners that are marginalized. It's time to call the bluff of the North. Not because we even support what Tinubu is doing, but we have to converse about Nigeria. Nigeria is not, we are pretentious. Let's go to the brass tacks. That's why we are calling for regionalization. The North is separate from the South. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. Unless we are deceiving ourselves. There are many issues about the tax reform. Look, the president is not focusing in the right direction. Just one item alone in inheritance tax. The North has a different perspective on Sharia. The Southwest have different customs. The East have different approach. By trying to do a unitary tax system when we are all having a different flavor of life, is that not a way to nowhere? Tax bill is not the form that we want. The country has to be reorganized and let all of us live separately, but as good neighbors. As good neighbors. We are different. It's just a fact. We can gloss over it from here to eternity.
Very well then. You watched the two clip, and I'm happy you as well understand everything that has been said on that clips. You see how people are fighting for us. You see how people are bringing their time to speak for the Igbos. But what happens? What about the same Igbos that people devote their time, their energy to speak for? They are not speaking for themselves. Rather, they choose to backbite one another. Rather, they choose to make sure that they see the downfall of one another. And that is not the way forward. And when it seems like the international community are not taking us seriously because of all these things that we are seeing on social media. Okay, wait, is Okafu appear ya. Okafu wait isi Okonkwa ka ebe na-aga. Okay, iche ita ika mogologo. Ebujie ya. Anyị nwa wụzere ndị ọkamma n'ama. Ọ chara acha a na-ebute. Ebuchakwa ọ nakwa na the same ala Igbo. Biko no eji m Chineke were ayọ onye ọbụla. Onye ọ na-awụ onye na-eme nke ọ na-eme na-adịghị mma. Change. The only constant in life is change. And the earlier you change, the better for you. They say crime may endure for a night, but shout of joy cometh in the morning. If you people believe, or maybe you are comfortable in that place you are living, and that was why you are doing everything humanly possible to make sure that Biafra land is thrown into chaos. My brother, you see that place where you did, they go soon grab you. And then you get yourself in that same Biafra land that you are helping to destroy. That animals the difference between 6 and half a dozen. It has getting to the point that everybody on this social media need to raise this awareness about what we are doing to our own selves. If you go to the area of the politics, they are not in good terms. You go to the area of religion, they are not in good terms. If you go to the area of traditional, we are not in good terms. If you go to the area of agitation to get what rightfully belongs to us, we are not in good terms. Then biko nke awa ajo ka nna ajo biko ahụ na nkujoro gbaghara no mana ọ woto dị nọ ka ntị wee na-egwu. Because today ihe niile m na-ekwu is more of like ị na-atụ Igbo, because ọwụ ndị Igbo ka nna gbara ọwụrụ ndị Hausa na ndị Fulani on ndị Yoruba. Oto ga ka ọ dị mma ọ dị njọ biko ka ya dịzie mma. Ahụ na ihe anyị na-emesi nsi emere this redeclaration that I actually met with Ofobi. My brother, I know where we're supposed to have been today. But look at it. The reason why Simon Ekpa got that judgment, I can tell you, it is also from us, not from Nigerian government. Can I go one in eziokwu? Aworo onye kwuo eziokwu panti yefu. Nkwuo ya panti ma ya yefu. Because the government that is trying to make everything look relevant and the ones who have grabbed power by force, if I take our power torso, and at the end of that power torso, our leader who is dodging bullet for us, at the receiving end. In other words, when two elephants fights, then the grass suffers it. This is power torso we are into as I'm talking to you this moment. Because the eligible government is trying to make sure that they secure the release of this one. And those ones who have grabbed power by force, they say, then they begin to struggle, petition upon petition, until the final day. My happiness in all these things is because somebody bigger than them have stepped in. That is David Masanga. Let me see what I'm going to do. The man who secured victory. If not for that man, I don't think the Kenya government is even ready to say anything meaningful on the repatriation of, or rather the abduction of Nnamdi Kanu in Nairobi, Kenya, which is Uhuru Kenyatta's international airport, Abuja they call him, in Nairobi, Kenya. It is this David Masanga. And he could have been fully informed before even Simon Ekpa going to that final court. If that man was fully informed by the government of USB and the cabinet, and maybe by now we would have been singing praises to God Almighty for what he have done on the life of Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoko, because his freedom is imminent and sacrosanct. Up to tomorrow, Finland government and Nigerian government are still clashing. Why should they allow that declaration to take place in Finland? Because all their intentions and all their aims is to make sure that nothing of such happened on that within that period we scheduled for this. That was why they took Simon Ekpa out of the way without knowing that somebody is also there to fill the gap. And it can only take that one person. If no Getukunkere assume that position, my brother, they will never declare that Biafra. Instead, they will tell you, let's go and strategize. Because now they have taken over our prime minister. Then let us. And once that happened, my brother, that is the end of it. Because they will then use money to infiltrate that Biafran struggle. And don't forget, it will take you many years to build a house. But under a second, that house will just collapse. Either by tsunami or by whatever. So the kind of tsunami they are going to infiltrate in that government, my brother, the destruction will be something that nobody will ever imagine. But God Almighty made it possible. We thank God for everything. And also kudos to that Ngozi Orabeze. Anybody who is calling Ngozi Orabeze a bad name, whether you know her personally or just you just inherited the hatred from somebody whom you know that hates her, my brother, your punishment it is still loading, because how can I make press up? Anybody who is using bad word on that woman, that declaration, do you know what it means? To declare that Biafra that day, the document is intact already. Do you know what it means? Nobody know. You don't know, right? Because even in Europe, even in Asia, even in Obodo, then everything was there. You have a free Wi-Fi to just go on the internet and begin to type anything you like. The same person who declared, the people who claimed that they're supposed to be the leaders are not even prepared to declare Biafra. And they are the ones you are following now. They're the one you join hands then to fight against person who stood her ground and said, this project must be completed whether the devil like it or not. The ones you are following are the ones who planned, who have already organized a coup d'etat to hijack the government on the 2nd of December. And when the woman have idea and hear their plans, she have to redeclare Biafra on the 29th. That same woman now is Orabugoro, Orabufrane, Orabunka, Orabunko. So then people who are planning coup d'etat and now the ones you are following, how gullible can we be? We used to say that white men and women come from the east. My brothers, How far now? We still maintain that the wise men come from the east? Maybe or maybe not. I cannot say. Let me hear your thoughts at the comment section of this video. So let me just go to the comment section of that first video you finish watch. The one for Hausa man, the Yoruba man, I'll keep it pending. That one, maybe we can read the comment someday. So this one is Mazi and the Chibi say, who's this guy? I beg, I need to finish this video, please, because the guy made a lot of sense. But somebody is here talking another different nonsense. Look at the ones who have been brainwashed. Look at it. Say Paul, so he said, God punish you and your generation. And Simon Ekpa, God punish that useless mouth you use to mentioning DOS. All of you criminals are doing everything to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doesn't come out. You see, that is the kind of people we have. Ikechukwu Isaac said, God Almighty will see us through. Alebu God win Igwebike, Jesus wept. Always Yoku. Ifeanyi Chukwu Simon, they must let us go because we are not one and can never be one. And that is what this our brother means also. He said they have been attacking these people. Just make that comment. These people need to be left alone. Let them go if you don't want them in your government. P2B secured 90%, 98% votes in the southeast becomes a problem. The same thing, 2019, Buhari secured, 2011, Buhari secured 90% of votes in the north. Nobody complained. But anyone that have to do with Igbo man, it becomes a general problem or a national issue. TBK Modubese, God bless you, my brother, for saying the truth. Our hope is on God of heaven and earth. A time is coming when he fight for us as he has always been doing. Anyway, let me just leave it here. More of these comments. Let us continue at the comment section of the video. In fact, drop your own personal opinion. What do you think? What we should do and what we should not do. Have a nice day. Kachineke meziokwu.